Columbia closely as well today. There's a staged re-entry process for people living in the interior of the province in the Shuswap region today, and that re-entry process starts today. The Bush Creek East wildfire swept through the region last month, destroying, damaging as many as 200 different homes. Let's go to our BC Bureau Chief Melanie Nagy, who is standing by in the region. Mel, good to see you. Talk to us about today's re-entry and how it's all going to play out here.
A much anticipated and long awaited re-entry. We're in the Shuswap area. We're not far from Chase, and you can see behind me, the burnt landscape. Further down, there is a roadblock, but later on this afternoon, there will be a phased re-entry for people whose homes were not damaged or destroyed by a fierce wildfire, one of the fastest growing in BC's history, that swept through this area on August 18th. Now, these people, they'll be allowed based on different areas around communities around the lake and the surrounding area at different times. So there's one group going in at 2 p.m. Pacific, then 4, then 7, and then from there there'll be additional re-entries. Now, for people who lost their homes, the damage here was quite extensive. While these numbers may still shift because there are some areas still being assessed, last count they were talking about more than 200, close to 270 structures completely destroyed in this area. So there is a lot of loss. Those people were given a chance to go back in yesterday and early this morning. They just wanted to give people some privacy to go into the area, assess the damage, kind of take a look. I mean, you can imagine the emotional toll it will take when you just look at the ruins of your life, destroyed before you, all charred rubble and debris. So that's what happened early this morning. Before the people who still have homes standing are able to go in, we will be allowed in, members of the media. And the reason why we're being granted access is because officials here, they say they have some really important safety messages they want to get out. They say many of the areas past the roadblock, they're still hazardous. The water, in most cases, is undrinkable. There's dangerous trees. There's areas that are just now roped off. They say don't entry. So the big message officials want to include, and by having us there, is just to get that safety message out, and also to kind of show a bit of the damage so people know what to expect when they return this afternoon.
Mel, I know you've also been following, tension between residents and the provincial authorities during these evacuations. You talked about the roadblocks, some people trying to get back in even though they're not supposed to be. What's the latest on that, on the anger and the frustration out there?
I have to say, in my experience so far, interacting with people, the general consensus now is just a real desire and an eagerness to get home. And most people have said, they really wanted to get the message out that they do support the wildfire staff. They do support local fire departments that came in. There is still a group that's unhappy with, the roadblock still being up. There's a group that's unhappy the members of the media are being able to go in before some of the people who own their homes. So this is all a part of the emotions of the area. It's been a very stressful time. There's been anger, but I think for the most part, the focus right now is really shifting on re-entry, assessing the damage, and shifting to what it's going to take to rebuild the communities in this area. I grew up in Kamloops, not far from here. I used to come to this area on the weekend with family and friends. The landscape's totally changed, and what officials say is it's a dramatic difference. So people really now want to come together and focus on next steps, because that's what they have to do to be able to move forward.
Melanie Nagy, our BC Bureau Chief, joining us from Chase, BC, or just nearby in the province's interior. Thanks for this, Mel. Good to see you as always.
You're welcome.